It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. And good morning to you. Our conversation with Matt Jioio, Marion Center High School principal, brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Matt, good morning.
Good morning, Todd. How are you today?
Wonderful. It's good to have you on a day like today. How could you not?
I know. It's a beautiful day out there.
Really is. Kids getting outside now for some more outdoor activities?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can't wait to get out of the building. We've had a nice start of spring sports. We've had good weather. They've been on the ball fields, up on the track. Things are looking more normal every day.
Gym classes getting out too?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Every chance we get to get outside and get some air.
Oh, that's good. That's really good news. And,
Yep.
and the kids can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, I think everybody in the building, we're appreciating being back at 100%. I know the high school's still 4 days a week, but our elementary's back full now. And I think the kids are excited, the staff's excited to be coming back to school and finishing up the school year as normal as possible.
Yeah, so that's an issue, isn't it? The elementary school starting back 5 days a week full time now. High school not quite able to yet, and there are a couple of reasons for it, and seems like it's pretty close to that breaking too, right?
Yeah, with the start of COVID back in March last year, it forced us to do a lot of things differently. When you talk about remote learning and distance learning, providing that option at the local level, doing the Marion Center area cyber, we've had to build that into the high school schedule, which ate up some teaching periods, which typically would be used for, covering the building some when we were down a couple teachers or those types of things. So we don't have that luxury anymore because we're providing so many options for our students in this, this COVID era.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you can get those issues under control, and of course you're looking forward too into the final quarter of the year. Does that start for you right after Easter break, like it does for most?
Oh, it's already started, Todd. I mean, we're talking about proms. As you know, the governor lifted some restrictions of indoor capacities April 4th, and we're looking forward to those. We're starting to plan graduation, prom, senior trips, trying to get these kids every experience that high schoolers look forward to in the springtime.
Yeah, and one of those things they look forward to in the springtime, you mentioned it earlier, is spring sports. I don't know that we can really measure how much it hurt to lose those spring sports. From a practical standpoint, kids are out there playing for their school and for scholarship opportunities, and just from a spirit standpoint, it really was a bad situation last year that is much better this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to keep reminding myself, too, Todd, that, looking out and then seeing the baseball and softball and not really realizing that those kids haven't been out there last year.
Yeah.
You kind of forget that a little bit. And, the fact that, we lost that opportunity last spring. So, we're really appreciating this spring and looking forward to, having a spring season.
Yeah, well, and Marion Center's really strong in spring sports by tradition. Softball, baseball, and track and field. Everything looks good for Marion Center in the spring.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Our numbers look fabulous. Our students are excited, and we have some good talent coming out.
Yeah. All right, we talked about substitute teachers. Every school district in Indiana County is struggling with that issue, and you'll be looking forward to next year in staffing as well. And most likely there will be some retirements and maybe some people moving on to other districts or to other careers. Are you, like every other school district, looking at some vacancies?
I think so. I think we have a couple of retirements that happened throughout the year this year. That some we're looking to fill, some we're looking at program changes. So it's definitely going to look differently. We're providing a lot of opportunities for our students, though, with some curricular changes, trying to offer more college into classroom courses, and turning the corner and still offering a lot of opportunities while recognizing the fact that a lot of these students through the COVID era and working remotely, got jobs and are still staying remote so that they can work, and still trying to meet the needs of those students while providing opportunities for them.
Sure looks different now than it used to.
Yes, absolutely.
But when you think back to exactly a year ago, this is when everything hit and everything shut down, and everyone in your position was scrambling to find ways to get through the rest of the school year. It's taught you a lot, hasn't it?
We had no idea what we were in for. I mean, you think about it, Tom, we weren't wearing masks at that point, and now masks are like a part of our dress code, and social distancing and the awareness of COVID and the awareness of quarantining and those types of things were all unknown at that point. And education has definitely changed. It forced, and on the positive side, it forced a lot of growth. Just by trial by fire, growth into turning the corner on technology and the remote learning platforms and how we needed to reach students and the lack of some service out here in northern Indiana County of internet capabilities. So really opened our eyes and forced us to make some changes. I think needed changes, but it really forced us to do that.
The interesting thing to me is they were talking the other day about the flu season being so mild this year, and it's because everybody's wearing their mask, and if they feel the slightest sick, they're going to stay home and they're going to stay away. Because of remote learning, that's not going to be as probably, let's put it this way, school hallways are not going to be as sickly as traditionally they might have been. Students aren't going to be passing along stuff that normally they would.
No, and I can tell you too, from a principal standpoint, when we came back 100%, our absenteeism really went. It got much better. Students want to be back here. In the remote aspect, students weren't attending as much as they should have. But now that we're physically back, students want to be in the building. It's more routine. The grades have vastly improved being in-person instruction. So, it has a lot of positive aspects of it. And, knock on wood, we're doing pretty well with the COVID and the quarantining as far as, keeping transmission to minimal.
Matt Jioio with us, the principal of the Marion Center High School, as we enter into the final 9 weeks or so of school. And I'm sure you as a principal have a goal, and getting those grades back up there where you'd like for them to be is one of them. What are some of the things that you look for in this final quarter of the school year that you'd like to see happen within your hallways?
Well, we're going to be taking the standardized testing. We haven't had any kind of data for over a year now. I'm really looking forward to seeing what those results yield. I know that the teachers have kept pace with their curriculum for the most part. And the biggest thing I think that I really felt bad about last year was the lack of education or the lack of challenge our seniors got at the end of the year, moving on to post-secondary schooling or trade schools or those types of things. And I'm really looking forward to, having those kids leave here with a real strong base knowledge of academics so that they can be successful in their post-secondary experiences.
What does Marion Center do in terms of summer schooling?
Well, we offer summer school for a lot of students that have a large gap in regression as far as our special education population. We bring those students in. We offer some college in the classroom classes for the summer that could be dual enrollment and transfer back in for credits. Mm-hmm. So we try to reach all the students some way, make some kind of opportunities available for whatever they may need. I
know college administrators that I've read about and talked to say that they anticipate that they're going to have an educational gap from the students who were seniors last year and the ones who are seniors this year that will soon be entering college because they simply have not had the opportunity that students of past years have had. And that's a continuing battle for folks like you.
Oh, absolutely. Trying to close that gap that was just, kind of thrust upon us. We're trying to do the best we can to offer those opportunities for students. But, it is challenging.
You anticipate that in the summer you're going to have more upgrades in terms of electronics and those capabilities?
Yes, because I think that that's just a natural progression of things. I don't think that, the cyber or the remote learning is ever really going to go back to what it used to be. I think it's always going to be, that door has opened, and I think a lot of students have taken advantage and are being successful in that realm. Some students can do that well. Some students it doesn't work for so well. So we're trying to meet both of those needs, which is a challenge for a school that's typically, public schools are typically brick and mortar.
Yeah.
So we forced to expand outside the walls to the cyber world.
Yeah. Have there been any problems, because your building's an older building, have there been any problems with the overcrowded classrooms or students not being able to physically distance themselves?
Well, when we were 50%, our school board and our central administration had done a great job doing the hybrid learning that allowed us 6 feet. Once we came back, to 100% 4 days a week at the high school level, we knew that social distancing is out for the most part because, our class sizes do go up. We're one of the largest schools in Indiana County, and our class sizes sometimes reach 25 or 30 in a few areas of the high school, which, social distancing is just impossible. But we're doing the best we can, and the teachers are well aware, when they do, in high school, students move from classroom to classroom every day, or every period. So what the teachers are trying to do is trying to seat the students beside the same students in other classes, like alphabetically, so that, contact tracing is minimal when, if and when something should happen, we're not, thrust with taking, 70 students into quarantine or anything.
Yeah. Those hallways are not the widest at Marion Center either.
No, we're a 1959 school building, as far as the main part of the high school, and it's built for social interaction, really.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'm a 1959 model as well, but I'm getting wider while you're getting narrower.
Yeah, you and I both.
He's Matt Jioio, principal of the Marion Center High School, and he's been kind enough to join us here this morning. Matt, continued success in the coming month and as we get toward the end of the school year.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.